today's definitely going to be a very interesting show. Of course, we're going to go over all the important news that happened today, but we're going to be talking about human-monkey hybrid organ harvesting in China. Like, seriously, that's a thing. Apparently, the lungs of the earth in major trouble. We're also going to be detailing how the Simpsons have become screeching, nonsensical, unfunny social justice warrior propagandists, whose creator, by the way, has ties to Jeffrey Epstein, who, of course, is also tied into Bill Gates, which we're going to look into in detail in this video. And just a friendly reminder, a video sponsored not by any government, not by any corporation, not by any special interest, not by any left-right gang mentality mental disorder, but a show that exists because of you and your support, with you saying enough is enough with the censorship and demonetization, and you being the major component keeping independent thought and media alive on the internet by simply donating on WeAreChange.org/donate, which you could do in many ways with physical mail without even having to spend any money, cryptocurrencies, one-time donations, or even other products that we have listed here. It's you doing something that makes the biggest difference. Now, of course, moving forward in the least serious aspect of this news broadcast, but an important one in the supposed culture war that's happening, I wanted to talk about a very disappointing, sad clip that the Simpsons published on their official Twitter account yesterday. And hell, I just might as well just describe what's happening here. With a poorly drawn, poorly voice-acted Donald Trump, U.S. president, holding up a picture of the, quote, squad, screaming that at the picture of them that they shouldn't be in, quote, America, poking fun at his hair, pretending it's a dog. This is so... the voice acting is horrible. Poking fun, or at least, I guess, trying to attempt to poke fun at Donald Trump's love life, with the squad responding how he's going to be impeached and in jail because he's somehow up Putin's buttocks, which is, again, just repeating all the debunked conspiracy theories by the mainstream media that have proven not to be true. Then somehow bringing the whole slurry of all the presidential candidates and somehow doing a dance where Donald Trump is the first one to become tired with, well, looks like Joe Biden making fun of him for being... Oh my God, this is horrible! Leaving me and many other people very visibly uncomfortable and cringing at this kind of dreadful drivel that's extremely basic and very unclever. And I'm saying this, by the way, I am not a Trump supporter. If you watch this show, you know I am definitely not a Trump supporter. So this is saying something when this is criticism coming directly from me, calling out the mainstream media narrative propaganda that has been laced in there and a part of the larger mental disorder that people are calling a political discourse in this country. Again, there's legitimate issues to criticize Donald Trump on, but these old, untrue, repeated epithets and conspiracy theories by the mainstream media are just tiring and exhausting, especially when it's coming from a show that used to be clever, used to be funny, and at least treated their audience with a little bit of dignity, which they have foregone. And in related Simpson news, we are also finding out from official court documents that the creator of The Simpsons, Matt Groening, according to these court documents and accusations, got a foot massage from a 16-year-old that described his feet as repulsive, describing the cartoonist's crusty toes. And again, this is according to the 2,000-page documents that were finally released because of a lawsuit in this particular case. And again, this man was 45 years old at the time. And again, it's extremely interesting that no one's really picking this up. You would think in the Me Too, Harvey Weinstein kind of day and age that we're living in, they would be taking Jeffrey Epstein very seriously, but they're not. Which shows you, which we've been saying for a very long time, since we've been covering the Jeffrey Epstein case for years now, when the mainstream media was running puff pieces, gloating, promoting Jeffrey Epstein. Right? This is what Huffington Post did and other mainstream media publications did before it actually came out, before it was too much in your face to ignore while we were actually talking about it. But you would think There would be more coverage than this, than some people on Twitter and Breitbart of all people, but there's not. And that's because Jeffrey Epstein implicates many powerful people in our society, the most powerful people in our society. And those people have a lot of influence. And that influence could buy special interest serving, quote, journalists, or otherwise known as the prostitutes, the horse-stream media, and the people with nice suits, professional makeup on, and good lighting to tell you the script that they're supposed to read to you and convince you of the bullcrap that the special interests sell them for you to, quote, believe. Another interesting aspect of the Jeffrey Epstein case is, of course, his connection with Bill Gates, of all people, who spoke more than once to Jeffrey Epstein, because officially, this is the official talking point here, he wanted to increase his philanthropic spending. And again, this is important to understand here, because Bill Gates met with him after Jeffrey Epstein was already a registered pedophile and sex offender. Already he was guilty of those crimes. And Bill Gates met with him multiple times. The richest man allegedly was taking advice for financial advice from a sex offender. And it also came out that Bill Gates flew on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet. Not specifically the Lolita Express, but regardless, still flew on one of Jeffrey Epstein's private jets. This is all on the background of course, Bill and Melinda Gates focusing many of their charity efforts on young children, specifically young women. And the story gets even stranger here, as we're finding out that Bill Gates's advisor, his former science advisor, was named in Jeffrey Epstein's to be his executor of his will, which apparently he is, quote, shocked about. Again, this being the Harvard-trained immunologist Boris Nikolic. And of course, very famously, Jeffrey Epstein has been pictured many times with a Harvard sweatshirt. And of course, just like many other powerful people, they are denying all of their connections to Jeffrey Epstein, which I call absolute hooey on, because many powerful people knew, hung out with him, including British royalty, already when he was a registered pedophile. And when you look at Bill Gates, I mean, there's always a lot to question here surrounding this particular case, which sadly, it looks like the Trump administration is covering up, as Attorney General William Barr, who even said, yes, there's very serious irregularities surrounding how, quote, Jeffrey Epstein died, but he just came out moments ago in what CNBC calls the tamping down of, quote, conspiracy theories by saying that he believes he's one of the few individuals, the Attorney General of this country whose father was connected to him, the Attorney General of this country, Barr, is saying he's one of the few Americans that believes that, yes, somehow, in a miraculous way, against all odds, that Jeffrey Epstein somehow did commit suicide? Are you freaking kidding me? This is what's going to show you that's going to be no justice at all in this particular case. The cover-up is already happening, and it's happening because of Donald Trump. I know you Trump supporters don't want to hear this, but Trump is in charge here. That's his Attorney General. He's being oddly quiet, except for one tweet. Let's give Trump one tweet about this particular case that was deleted by Twitter, by the way. A video questioning Hillary Clinton. But again, this is far beyond left and right here. But Attorney General William Barr said again, there's, quote, nothing to indicate that Epstein's death was, quote, not a suicide. And that is just absolutely laughable. Absolutely ridiculous. And sadly, this is why we won't have any justice in this particular case of this apparent sociopath who knew everyone in high places. And what do you expect? This is just blatantly in your face, undeniably one of the biggest, nastiest, disgusting cover-ups in our current modern day society. And it cannot be ignored, and it cannot die with just this one simple sociopath, madman, crazy person, who, by the way, also believed in eugenics. What a surprise. He hung out with Bill Gates, Henry Kissinger, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all the particular elites, and believed in eugenics, and even hired, financed many scientists to pursue his interests in eugenics, in population control, while he, quote, desired to seed the human race with his DNA. Yeah. And in other just absolutely just sick and unethical news, we are finding out that scientists are going to China and have already done so, since of course there's very lax regulations and very lack of ethical considerations to conduct science experiments where they are creating human monkey embryos which could be used for organ transplants or organ harvesting. And according to reports, this has already happened. Now, in the US, similar projects have already been undergone, specifically with pigs and trying to transplant pig organs to be used in transplants. But the fact that human genes, human DNAs are being spliced in and creating a new creature, specifically in China, is absolutely terrifying. It's absolutely mind-boggling that such things are happening now, as this person who commented here said, Planet of the Apes is coming. There's rules. But holy cow, I mean, there's nothing really else to say about this particular story. With another depressing one, continuing on, what people are calling the lungs of the earth, the rich Amazon rainforest, currently undergoing a massive wildfire that some people are claiming will ravage the planet. Now, of course, some people are, of course, pointing to conspiracy involved around this particular case, saying that recently an Amazonian tribe won a lawsuit against big oil and against the Brazilian government to harvest a lot of the natural resources in the rainforest. But again, I have not been able to corroborate this at all. And to me, this is still unfounded. But the severe effects of this fire are devastating and mind-boggling, as even the largest city in Brazil, Sao Paulo, a beautiful city, I've been there before, I really enjoyed my time there, completely turned dark during the afternoon, during 4:30 p.m., because of the massive amount of smoke plumes that are coming from this huge fire that is engulfing the rainforest. And again, this is a very serious issue that, of course, the world is dealing with right now. And yeah, that's the news today. Hope you guys got your download. Hope you guys know what's going on. And if you feel like I provided that service, share this video with your friends and family members, because if you don't, no one else will. I sincerely thank everyone who donates and keeps us alive. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. And that's why I try to end every single broadcast by saying, I love you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org. Which is blacklisted by Google, so that's why you need to share more.